Hi everyone, it's Nina with Lace Covered Skies. I am here to work on some new journals, but before we get into that, I wanted to show you the results of my coffee dyeing. And this is probably a few videos back where I did some stencil coffee dyeing, and I coffee dyed some papers that were printed onto. Most of these are tailor-made journals, her wallpaper, as well as her French receipts. And I wanted to show you the result. So I really love how the ink kind of bleeds together and the different coffee dyeing shapes, how it just ages the print on here. So I love that. And I just love what happens to the back. Like you can't predict what happens to the back. And like this one, the design didn't show up too clearly, but it like bled in such a cool way. So I thought that was really cool. My least favorite thing about these probably is the red ink. And that happens a lot, I guess, because there's a red ink undertone or something with a lot of these, but that's probably my least favorite part. On this one though, I like it because it's giving that pattern. My favorite part is when it has that like green. I don't know if you guys can tell with that. When it's like green and pink, like that little bit of pink right there and there. I like that as well. I think it's really cool. And then we have this one. I don't think I've really coffee dyed patterned paper before, like the patterned paper that you print. So I love the way this looks. And not a fan of all that pink right there. I mean, all that red right there. But I think it's still cool. There's this one. So probably this was the sandwich to this, because this is kind of like the negative and this is the positive. And here, I think my printer printed some of this and then the paper got jammed or something. So I had to like pull it out. But even coffee dyeing it kind of makes it okay to leave it there. And then whatever this is that happened right here, I think is really cool. And then there's this. This one I layered over. I layered over the print here. Layered the wallpaper over the print. I love that. This is beautiful as well. It just looks so cool. So I mentioned that I was printing onto legal size paper, and of course most things that you print will not go all the way down. I think there's some things that you can like mess with the proportions, but most things won't print all the way down. So with the coffee dyeing, I think it's going to look really cool if it's like folded into a page or something. And that's actually what we're going to work on today. Let me go ahead and show you some more. So cool. This one, this wallpaper is from Yanavali. I love that. So pretty. Wow, that looks like it's been sitting in the sun for like weeks or something. So beautiful. I don't know how it's coming off on camera, but in person, I've been kind of, so what I do is I kind of lay them out, and then I'll just like pull the ones from the bottom on the top onto the top pile so that it kind of dries. Like it's very just messy and not very orderly the way I do it, but as long as all the layers dry. And as I pull them up, I'll kind of glance at them and see how they look, but they don't, like the way they look now fully dry is so different from when they're still kind of wet. So it's really interesting just to see how things turn out. That is beautiful. Maybe I should show you guys a little bit closer so you can kind of see the detail a little bit more. Look at this one. It's very faded. It looks like it's faded from the sun, like I said before. See this red? Not my favorite, but you know, that's just how it happens sometimes. So let me know what you guys think of this. Do you like this result? Do you think it's worth it, even though some of it might end up being a color that's not so great? But I love this part. And that was when I was kind of spraying around the edges. I think once it gets a little bit hotter, because as you can see, there's like a white background here. But once it gets hotter around here, I might pull out all the papers that I've done and just kind of do the edges, because I really like the way this looks. And I'd rather do that than just cut off the edge or something. I like this too. The ink on here was very yellow, and I loved the contrast with the brown of the coffee dye. I think it looks really cool, especially in something like this page where it's less of an obvious design. It's just kind of like blending all in there. Love this one. It's almost like a science experiment. You don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm going to turn it this way so you guys can see the full page. This coffee dye took really well. It's extremely pigmented. I love this too, how the design is clear here and this isn't that clear, and I didn't really spray the middle. I think because I didn't like that design, but I think it looks cool like that. See, like, this is black ink, but then the back is red. So I need to pay attention to that more and figure that out. This came from this though. That right there, which is fine because that's red ink. But I just wonder why it's printed in black, but on the other side it's red. Because that happens a lot. This is beautiful in here. All right, but we are going to be working on pages for my new journals. And this is inspired by the Magical Carnival journal that I'm working on TikTok. But this is going to be more of the textured, grungy journal. So I already prepared some papers. I think I did this a few days ago. So now I don't quite remember what goes with what. It's kind of just two piles of paper now, and I'm not sure how I was intending to use them. Let's see. I think this is where it starts. This is composition paper, like from a composition notebook, dyed with avocado. I did this last year, and I just love it. All right, so let me see. I put one piece of that. So this is me just kind of getting familiar with what I already did here. A few pieces of coffee dyed paper. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is some ledger paper that I copied, and it's avocado dyed, so that's another type of page. Okay. All right. So these are the pages for the 2 journals. Now what I did with these, because again they were printed onto legal size paper, only because I got a bunch of legal size paper for $1 a ream at a local thrift store. So of course I got it and I printed onto it, and then I just stenciled on the part that didn't have design. So that's what I did there. And what I think I'm going to end up doing is I need to figure out what to do with the back because it's just stark white. But I'm probably going to collage something over that. This is white on the back as well. So I'm going to need to figure out what to do. I stenciled on there too. So these are all the pages I am going to be using. And this is from a previous time where I stencil coffee dyed. All right. So I have a lot of really white paper in here. So let me deal with those first. I could have printed on both sides, but I didn't. So I could do some stenciling on here. I think what I might do is probably replace these 2 pages with some of this coffee dyed paper here that we just worked on last time. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick out a couple pieces. I think I like this one, and I like this one. I mean, it's really easy to pick because they're all so pretty. So let's see. I got that taken care of. I'm probably going to cut off the white there. And I'm going to just have to deal with these. So let's go ahead and do that to this stack as well. I am going to be taking out this page, these 2. Even though I really love this page right here. I might add that in later or something. And then we're going to add in 2 pieces. I think I'll do that one and that one. All right. I I still have my stencils out. So let's go ahead and just stencil around the edges. Let's just see how that looks. It might not be enough, but we'll see how it looks and then go from there. And when I stencil, I really don't. Okay, that was a lot more ink than I was imagining. I don't mind when the ink goes onto the stencil, because when I go to coffee dye, then it just ends up being pretty cool to see what it'll do. Okay, I think that was way darker than I had imagined, which it's not necessarily a bad thing. So let's do this side as well. Okay. Now I hate to have to ink the edges, but I think it's a little too white. So I'm just gonna put put a bunch of different papers like this that need some inking, and we're just gonna ink them at the same time. I don't know if you call that lazy or efficient, but that's what we're gonna do. And I think what I'm going to do is just lay this down. I don't want too sharp of an edge, so why don't we just grab this scrap envelope here if it's large enough. I should really use something that will be used later. Let's just try this. That way, if I don't like how it ends up looking, I can just cut this out and put it onto cardstock or something. Let's go ahead and ink this. I'll either use this dauber or I might switch to, you know what might be also kind of cool? If I do this. So let's lightly do this. And perhaps I should have put this underneath. Let's go this way. I don't know if that straight edge is going to be good enough. So let me actually just ink it. probably would have been easier if I would have just printed something on the other side. Okay, let's do the other long side. If this were like a vintage retro journal or like a children's junk journal or something, I would not mind the white. But this is like one of my grungy journals, so the white is just not gonna cut it. Okay. I mean, that's better. That does look better. And what I'm thinking of doing, and let's see how this turns out. It could turn out disastrously, but we'll find out. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to use this stencil, but I'm going to turn it over like this. And actually, if I can do this without mixing up the two piles, that would be great. Oh, it won't get mixed up because I inked some of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put this. Let's see how this turns out. Usually, well, in the past, whenever I do a video, I make sure I have it already planned out. But ever since I started collaging, doing the collage work on this channel, I felt a lot more comfortable just kind of winging it. And trust me, I am not a winging it type of person at all, ever, with anything. So this is definitely different for me, but we're going to experiment. And I'm not going to use this color. I don't want it to be that extreme. So I'm going to grab antique linen. This was pink. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I used my gold with this. I need to get more of these brushes, but I used gold before, so I'm going to go ahead and use it again. And I am setting the ink side down like so. let's go ahead and I actually really like this gold ink. I got it on clearance at Hobby Lobby, I think. I have my stencil in a very precarious position right now because it's against the wall and I'm afraid it's going to move, so I'm going to slide it down a little bit just so I can do this comfortably here. Okay, let's see how this turns out. Okay, I don't mind that, but I think what I want to do is space this out a little bit more and see what happens. And I think we're going to go over the same spot. Just to kind of have like, let me see where I am in camera. Okay. And normally I would feel like this is too time consuming, but I'm doing like all the white pages at once for both journals, so I think it should be fine. So I want to leave a big enough space where I can really see the stencil. And let's pick another stencil. Let's do this one. I think this is my favorite stencil. I love the dots and I love the designs in here. Okay, so let's try this. I've been looking for more stencils, but I cannot find ones that I really like. I think I moved it a little bit, but that's fine because I'm moving to a different area right now. And I'm not doing this too dark, so I should probably do some stamping as well. I kind of dread stamping. I mean, I love the look of it, and I love the look of embossing as well. I like how random this is, how there's like a little bit right there and a little bit up there. But with stamping, I kind of dread it. Just because I don't know how to really clean my stamps. With clear stamps, I'm okay, because I literally will just wash my stamps. But with the wood stamps, I'm not a big fan. I think I like that. Stenciling here and there is going to blend in the edges, I think. I like that one. So let's go ahead and try another spot. And I think this time I'm just going to put the papers like really haphazardly so that I get different spots. I want to get every page though, somehow. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to do that, but I'm gonna try. Okay, let's just do that for now. And let's do this stencil. And whatever it catches, it catches. And then we'll move it around. I do like stenciling, and the fact that the fact that it's better not to clean my stencils because then it'll make interesting coffee dyeing makes me more inclined to use my stencils. I think I moved it right there. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that I got that spot though. I really like the part of making a journal. I like the part after the signatures are sewn in, because I feel like it's the part, if you're doing your makeup, sewing the signatures in is the part where you're putting your like winged eyeliner on. It's like the make it or break it. Then after that, I can kind of just relax and embellish it up, which is definitely my favorite part. Okay, let's see. I'm liking this. I feel like this design really matches with like the gold. I don't think it's really showing up that much on camera, but I think the design really matches with that. I really like the randomness of this, and I really like the randomness of this, and the fact that you can kind of see the roses through there. I like that one too. Okay, so I think I'm just going to continue doing this until more of the space of these empty spaces are filled in. And let's see what we get by the end. I do want bigger spaces filled in though. So we're going to use less of the papers. I think this needs a lot going on because you could see so much of that pattern show through. So let's go ahead and pick a stencil with more going on. Let's do this one. See how long I've been going for. 36 minutes. So let's go ahead and do this batch right here. And then I think I'll go ahead and turn off the camera and try to finish this part. And then in the next video, I'm going to try to come back and we'll assemble the order of the pages. I'm definitely gonna have to get more of these brushes. I think I have 3 or 4. Actually, let me try using this for a second, just to see how dark it's going to be, because I don't want it to be too dark. And this foam piece I think is ready to go. Oh yeah, this is a lot darker. But we'll see, it might be quicker. Okay, I'm gonna have to do something about this one because the ink is coming through too much. That looks pretty cool. I think I like a combination of the gold and the distress oxide. All right, but I think I'm gonna continue working on this, and when I come back, I'll show you guys how the backs look, and then we'll continue working on the pages, and we'll put the pages together in the order that I'm gonna end up having them. But I hope you liked seeing the result of the coffee dyeing. Let me know if you've ever tried stencil coffee dyeing. But thank you so much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye everyone.